Rome, 100 AD. A freed slave who owns 3 ships still bows to a broke senator who owns nothing but his ancestors' names. You can out-earn your betters in Rome. You can never out-birth them. You can buy everything in this empire. Everything, except a new past. Today, every level of wealth in the Roman Empire, from the slave with a price tag around his neck to the emperor who sleeps with a dagger under his pillow. You think Rome was a ladder anyone could climb. The stories make it sound like any slave could become a millionaire. Trimalchio, the fictional freedman who threw feasts so obscene that even Nero was impressed. But fiction isn't reality. The real ladder has rungs that were designed to break your fingers, and the people at the top designed them that way on purpose. Let's start at the bottom, where you don't own yourself. Level 1. Service, the slave. You're a slave. You wake up before dawn in a dark cell or a crowded workshop. Someone else owns your sweat, your sleep, your children. Your price is written on a tag around your neck. Maybe you're a galley slave, chained to an oar, rowing until your heart gives out. Maybe a farm slave, worked to death in 5 years because replacing you is cheaper than feeding you. Or maybe, if you're educated, if you read Greek and keep accounts, you end up in a wealthy household. Warm meals, decent clothes. You travel the empire. You know more about politics than the free man outside the gate. You are still property. You own nothing legally, including your own name. And here's the cruel joke Rome never admits. That educated household slave often eats better, sleeps safer, and travels further than the free peasant starving outside the wall. You are not poor. You are property. That's a different kind of nothing. Level 2. Libertus, poor. The freed slave who lost. Your master freed you. Manumission. Your name comes off the ledger. You're a libertus now, a freedman. You can work, trade, sign a contract, exist in the legal record of Rome. You also have no house, no savings, and no one who owes you anything. Most freed slaves end here, doing the same work as before, except now there's no guaranteed meal at the end of the day. You live in an insula, a 6-story apartment block so structurally optimistic that the ground floor tenants take bets on which wall goes first. Fire season is every season. Your former master becomes your patron. You owe him respect. You walk behind him in public. He can still beat you legally, just not kill you. You wear an expensive tunic now. You still flinch when someone raises a hand. Level 3. Libertus, wealthy, the freed slave who won. And this is where Rome breaks your expectations. Some freed slaves got rich, not comfortable rich, because Rome was a commercial empire, and commerce didn't check your papers, it checked your margins. You move grain and oil and wine across the Mediterranean. You lend money. Rome has no banks, and everyone, from the plebeian to the senator, needs credit. You own the insulae now. You have slaves. A freed slave with slaves. That is the most Roman sentence ever written. The Emperor Claudius's own secretary, a freedman named Narcissus, had a personal fortune that rivaled senators. And then there's Gaius Caecilius Isidorus, real man, 73 AD. His will is read after he dies. He owned 4,116 slaves, 3,600 oxen, 60 million sesterces in cash, richer than half the Senate combined. At his funeral, senators showed up for the food and whispered about his origins behind their hands. That's the Roman nightmare. You can out-earn your betters. You can never out-birth them. You escaped slavery. You did not escape the memory of it. Level 4. Plebeian, free and worse off than the slaves you looked down on. You were born free, born Roman, you have rights. You can vote, technically. You cannot be tortured without cause. You can appeal to the emperor. You also live in a single room with your entire family, buy hot food from street vendors because you have no kitchen, and survive on the grain dole because without it you'd starve. You look at the freed slave and feel contempt. He was property. You were born with citizenship. He's also richer than you. You fought for Rome in the legions. You bled for Rome on the Rhine. You can't afford a proper toga. Level 5. Equites, the inflection point. 400,000 sestertians in property, a gold ring, reserved seats at the Colosseum, first 14 rows, and something more important than any of that. You don't work anymore. People work for you. Not metaphorically, literally. Your agents collect your rents, your factors run your trade routes, your freedmen manage your estate. Your time has been purchased back from the world, and you now spend it making decisions instead of executing them. Equestrians ran Rome's provinces, held the tax collection licenses, administered the treasury. This is where money stops being something you earn and starts being something that earns for you. You dine with senators, you fund their wars, you collect their taxes. They still look down on you because your grandfather sold olive oil instead of commanding a legion. There are still levels above you. For the first time, you can see them. Your name is carved in Rome. Level 6, Senator, everything, and afraid of all of it. Your ancestors' death masks sit in your atrium. Your estates span Italy, Gaul, Africa. Your house on the Palatine Hill has its own bathhouse, its own library, its own private circus. You spend half your energy appearing less rich than you are. You build smaller villas than you can afford. You dress modestly at the wrong dinner party. Because the wrong toga, the wrong gesture, can get you accused of treason. The emperor can erase your entire family in a week. One letter, one morning where he wakes up suspicious. Centuries of accumulated name and land and marble gone before lunch. You have everything. You cannot enjoy any of it. The higher you climb, the thinner the air, and the emperor is always watching. The empire is your estate. Level 7, Imperator, the most powerful, the most hunted. You wake up in the Domus Augustana, 300 rooms, marble from Egypt, columns from Greece, a private stadium. Every grain ship entering Rome's ports, every legion on every frontier, every client king sending tribute, all of it answers to you, legally. Augustus called himself the first citizen, a man of the people. He also personally controlled 500,000 soldiers across 3 million square miles. Very humble. You can build anything, buy anything, end anyone. The average Roman emperor lasted less than 5 years before someone stabbed, poisoned, or strangled them. Of the first 12 emperors, the majority died violently. The freedmen at least had the freedom to be ignored. You are the biggest target in the known world. There is no level above this. There is also no safety net below it, and you sleep with a dagger under your pillow. So let's see where we ended up. The slave owns nothing, but sometimes lives better than the free man outside the gate. The freed slave has money, but not dignity. The plebeian has citizenship, but no wealth to use it with. The equestrian has wealth, but a glass ceiling above him. The senator has everything and fears everything. The emperor has the world and the shortest life expectancy in it. Rome built a ladder where every single rung has a different kind of trap. Money doesn't buy respect. Status doesn't buy safety. Power doesn't buy peace. And then, in 212 AD, Emperor Caracalla did something no one expected. He gave citizenship to every free person in the empire. Every freed slave, every provincial, every Egyptian, Gaul and Syrian, and Numidian. When everyone became a citizen, citizenship became worthless. The latter didn't collapse from the outside pressure, it collapsed from the inside. Because when everyone is equal on paper, the people with real wealth stop pretending the paper matters. Sound familiar? That's every level of wealth in the Roman Empire, the first meritocracy in history, if you ignore the slavery, the glass ceilings, and the knives waiting at every rung near the top. Same drives, different costumes. 2,000 years later, same game. Trust me, bro, I just summed up 1,000 years in 9 minutes.